Setting healthy boundaries in a relationship is crucial for maintaining respect, mutual understanding, and emotional well being. Boundaries define how you want to be treated, what you're comfortable with, and what you expect from others. Healthy boundaries protect your time, energy, and emotional space while fostering respect and communication in relationships. Here's how to set healthy boundaries in every relationship. Understand what boundaries are: personal space and emotional needs. Boundaries are the limit you set to protect your physical, emotional, and mental well being. They define what you're comfortable with and how you want others to behave around you. So, there are many types of boundaries: physical boundaries relating to personal space, privacy, and physical touch; emotional boundaries involving your feelings, emotional energy, and how much you share with others. Then there is time boundary relating to how you manage your time and commitment; intellectual boundaries respecting ideas, thoughts, and opinions; material boundaries involving your belongings and financial resources. Identify your needs and limits. Reflect on what you feel is right for you. To set boundaries, you need to understand your own needs, values, and what makes you feel uncomfortable or stressed. Think about past situations where you felt your boundaries were crossed. What was missing? What would you have made you feel more respected? Recognize emotional triggers. Pay attention to what makes you feel drained, resentful, or overwhelmed. These can be signals that a boundary needs to be set or strengthened. Communicate clearly and assertively. Use I statements. When expressing your boundaries, use clear and assertive language. Focus on your feelings and needs rather than blaming or criticizing the other person. For example, instead of saying, "You always interrupt me," you can say, "I feel disrespected when I am interrupted. I'd like to finish my thought before hearing yours." You can also be direct. Be specific about what you need or expect. Avoid vague statements like, "I need space." Instead, say, "I need some more time alone after work to unwind before we talk." Non-negotiable boundaries. When you're talking about them, you have to be firm about non-negotiable. That is, you're not tolerating any abuse or manipulation in this area. It's important to assertively communicate these boundaries for your mental and physical well-being. Set boundaries early in a relationship. Establish expectations early on. The earlier you set your boundaries in a relation, the easier it is for you to maintain them. Letting others know your limits from beginning sets the tone for how you want to be treated. Prevent future resentment. If your boundaries are established early, you may find yourself feeling resentful or frustrated later. Setting boundaries from the start prevents miscommunication and builds healthier dynamics. You have to be consistent and follow through. Consistency is the key. Once you've set a boundary, it's important to stick to it. Consistency can send Inconsistency can send mixed messages, causing others to disregard your boundaries. If someone crosses a boundary, calmly remind them of your own limits and consequences of not respecting them. For example, if you've asked for time alone and someone keeps interrupting, reiterate, "I need some time alone now and I'll be available to talk later." You should learn to say no. Saying no is a fundamental part of setting boundaries. You have the right to decline requests or invitation that conflict with your values, time, and energy. Practice saying no without feeling guilt, especially if you're saying yes would lead to overwhelmness or resentment. Saying no doesn't have to be harsh. Be polite, be firm. For example, "I appreciate the invitation, but I won't be able to attend." Or, "I can't help with this right now, but let's talk about how we can address that later." You have to manage mental boundaries. Oversharing in a relation is not good. So, if you're doing that, you will feel vulnerable. Gauge the other person's openness and trustworthiness before sharing too much. Protect your emotional energy. You're not obliged to make others' emotions or problems. Practice empathy while recognizing your own limits. For example, if a friend often vents to you and it drains you, set limits on the time and energy you dedicate to their concerns. Respect others' boundary. Mutual respect is very important. Respect the boundaries that others have set for you. Pay attention to their verbal and non-verbal cues and be open to adjusting your behavior when someone communicates their limits. Healthy relationships or mutual respect of boundaries is both balanced and respected. Both parties should feel comfortable expressing their needs and have those needs respected without guilt or resentment. You should know that the boundaries that you are setting or are being set for you are not controlling you or punishing anyone. They are about protecting your own mental and emotional health, and vice versa for the other person also. You have the right to feel safe, respected and valued in your relationship. So let go of the guilt. Setting boundaries may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you are used to prioritizing others' needs. However, setting limits is not selfish. It's an essential part of self-care. Healthy boundaries need help you show up fully and authentically in relationships. Now prepare for pushback. Expect resistance. Some people may react negatively when you first set boundaries, especially if they are used to you saying yes or prioritizing their needs. Stay firm and calmly reiterate your needs without getting defensive or compromising your well being. Practice self affirmation. Remind yourself that your boundaries are valid even if others do not like them. You deserve to be respected and heard, and those who truly care about you will respect your boundaries over time. Seek support if needed, therapy or counseling if you're struggling with setting boundaries due to fear of rejection or past experiences. Seeking help from therapist can provide support. Therapy can help you work through your feelings of fear, guilt, codependency, and that may be hindering your ability to set limits. Talk to trusted friends, discuss your boundary setting efforts with close friends and family members who support you. They can offer encouragement and insight, especially if you're dealing with challenging relationships. Adjust and reassess as needed. Boundaries can evolve. As relationships grow and circumstances change, it's natural for boundaries to shift. Periodically reassess your boundaries to ensure they are still aligned with your needs and well being. Communicate changes. If you need to adjust a boundary, whether loosening or strengthening it, communicate with these changes clearly. For example, if you become closer to a friend and you might open up more emotionally, but if work stress increases, you might need more time alone. So that's the conclusion. Setting healthy boundaries is essential for maintaining strong, respectful relationships and protecting your emotional well being. It involves clear communication, self awareness, the ability to say no without guilt. By establishing and maintaining boundaries, you foster healthier relationships built on mutual respect, understanding, and emotional balance. It may take time and practice, but healthy boundaries lead to more fulfilling and harmonious interaction in all areas of your life. Thank you for listening to me. Live automagically.